Hello. Hi. It's the Rogin Kimcast. Hello, you're listening to the Rogin Kimcast. It's me, Rodent Kim. Rodent? Did I just call myself Rodent? Oh my god. I can't even say my own name.
Hey, you want to get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky! What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rogin Kim.
California dreaming.
And that's what's happening. I'm not intoxicated. I'm totally fine. I am turning 40. That's just really, it's all about me, isn't it? But I named this podcast the Rogin Kimcast. Sometimes I'm like, should I just rename it to something else? Like history of stuff, or I don't know, something, like whatever, like just call it, give it a name. But then I'm like, that's like sort of limiting. Like now I have to talk about history. What if I want to talk about other stuff? Not everything's history. There are also mysteries. Okay. Hi. It's been a while. Look, it's been a while, and honestly, I recorded a whole podcast after Anthony Bourdain and Spade committed suicide, where I rambled for like half an hour about the times I was sad and almost committed suicide. And I'm sure there could have been some value in putting that out there into the world. But then, I don't know. I guess there's just a cacophony going on right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's the state of media right now. It's just like squawking birds, just the Amazon rainforest level of bird squawking going on, and it's just heightened. Everything's heightened, polarized, teams, and then it's just boo, yay. Everything's through this sort of filter of, politics is just completely taken over everything. Politics is taking over the news cycle, like, forever. But, like, can we just talk about some other shit? Like, is it even possible? Does fucking Sarah Huckabee Sanders doesn't get served at a restaurant? Does it have to be national news? Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Okay? They're separating kids, putting them in cages. Is that political, though? I mean, that's not politics. That's like human rights, right? That's like that's a human thing. But then, of course, were we to really examine ourselves as a country and our actions, I mean, really look into the children that are abused or malnourished or without health care or just killed in this country, aside from the ones we rip away from, immigrants and refugees or whatnot, people trying to get into this country. Aside from those people, there's people inside this country as well who have their children ripped away, or children everywhere really get the brunt of the shit in the world. Isn't that something? It's they really do get the worst of it because they didn't ask for any of this shit, and a lot of times it's real easy to do stuff to kids because kids can't have no rights and can't really, they don't really like represent themselves as adults. They can't talk. They can't speak with the sort of self-awareness that most adults have. I mean, I'm just thinking about like kids being able to act and think like an adult. So that's creepy. That's like horror movie stuff. I've seen that in a horror movie. That's when a kid is possessed or something, right? That's a hyper intelligent child is scary for some reason, because there should be an innocence. We recognize this, I think, across cultures. I feel like most cultures, except for maybe like ancient Sparta or some shit, were down with the fact that children should have a protected period of innocence where they get to be fucking kids and nobody fucks with them or literally fucks them or kills them. None of that stuff, that they get to be kids and have a chance. But is that something that comes out of the fact that we used to have a super high infant mortality? infant mortality used to be like 50%, up until not that long ago. I could be making that up, but I feel like if we looked it up together, I'm not going to do it. I don't have a person to pull things up for me, and my computer's off. And then it would take like a full minute or two to start it out. You hit the startup chime, bong, and then you have to wait for all that. And it's kind of old. It's like a 7-year-old computer, I'm sure, what I got here. So I don't know. It would just take, and yes, in the time I took to explain and impersonate the computer starting up, could I have started my computer? Yes, that's true. Could I have used my phone that's right next to me that's also a computer, essentially? Could I have used that to look up the information? Yeah. But I say 50% of babies died. I say there was a 50% infant mortality. I'm just happy that I remembered what I was talking about, because there was a 50% chance that I would have forgotten what I was talking about, infant mortality. And I still got it. I'm turning 40, guys. I still got it. I still got 50% of it still there, guys, at 40. This is good. I've probably lived 50% of my life. So I don't know. Some psychic dude told me I'd live till my 80s. That's fair. I got another 40 years at this. I got up to this far, and I have a handle on some things. I have enough. I feel like I've done enough work. Well, I gotta tell you, 20 to 40 was basically dealing from 0 to 20. 0 to 20 really zero. You could be dealing with 0 to 20 from like 20 to 100. Like that could take I personally know people in their 60s and 70s still dealing with things that happened to them when they were like 0. You know what I mean? 2, 1. Shit just happened when they were kids. Yeah, they're still kids as adults. Grown, not adults, senior citizen babies. That's what we're a nation of. And isn't it fitting that our president is a senior citizen baby? Isn't that? I just feel like it's just, it's like, Trump, polarizing, Trump, the immigration. Yeah, it's bad. Bad stuff. There's bad stuff going on, man. We're like openly cruel for the first time, which in some ways, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying, yay, it's good that we're cruel. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, yay, the mask has come off. Okay? Because I don't believe that all of a sudden the American government is evil because Donald Trump is president. I don't believe that. I don't actually believe that you could use good and evil in such complex, matters such as politics or, I don't know, just say human behavior, whatever, anything. Good, evil, yes. There are objectively evil things. There are sociopaths that love to hurt people. Those things are real. I'm not denying any of that, okay? But just the framework of good and evil, I think, is too simplistic and binary to really explain what's going on in the world. The world is too complex, and I think we grasp at narratives to make sense of reality, because otherwise the truth, that comes to us in snippets through extreme circumstances, the near-death experiences, psychedelic experiences, just awe-inspiring experiences, and through experiences, usually not through objects, not through like a sweet car, but through some experience. You see for a second that like, oh, there's a lot more to this than just this material shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Rogin? Are you high? Maybe. Most likely. Not like super high. I'm not too high to talk, so no, not that. No, I'm not high. But have I been so high that I know what I'm talking about? Definitely. You know what I mean? Have I broken through to the other side? Yeah. Have I done DMT in a dirty Brooklyn basement? It wasn't dirty. It was actually quite clean, Caleb. It was a clean Brooklyn basement apartment. out of a 2-liter bottle. Yeah. Yeah. And I think stories are how we make sense of the world. Even now, stories. That's one of the things we've done around the fireplace, right? Fireplace, the fire, just as like traditional human beings sitting around a campfire, or hunter-gatherer human beings, ancient human beings who may have just discovered fire, talking around the fire. Yeah, what is there to do in those caveman times at night besides be terrified of what's going on outside? You want to be out there. You want to be inside. And I guess there were caves. So let's say we're talking caves. In a cave, we got a fire going on. There's light going on the walls. You can make shadows and shit, and maybe you're just starting to draw stuff, telling stories, and entertain each other, but also use stories because it's through language that we're communicating things like ideas, right? Customs, cultures, whatever. So all that shit, I feel, may have started, I don't know, tens of thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago. I don't know. I don't know. I personally don't know. There's probably people better than I at this who could give me a good time frame, but I'm guessing a long ass time ago, beyond what I can fathom. I can barely remember what I did yesterday, right? I really literally can barely. What the fuck did I do yesterday? Yeah, I don't remember. Do you? Do you remember what I did or you did? We don't. But 10,000 years ago, right? Supposedly 10,000 years ago, we didn't have agriculture, right? 10,000 years before that, I guess we definitely didn't. 10,000 years before that, and so on and so forth. Humans supposedly have been around, the modern human being, 200,000 years. Hominids have been around something like 2.5 million years. It's a time scale that I'm going to be like, yeah, I get it, but I don't get it. I don't know what the fuck does that mean? The hominid, the evolution of our body and brains archetype. You know what I mean? Like where we come from ancestrally. The hominids. That shit was 2.5 million years of development. So what are we talking about? Right? 2.5 million years of this is before we could say that we were people. We weren't even we weren't us. We were a bunch of hominids. Maybe different varieties. I don't know. We found fossils, but what do we really know? So there's a period of time where there were just shitloads of hominids, and then it all seemed to bottleneck, right? To a period. Something like they say genetically they could trace us back to 5,000 people, or I've heard some people say 20,000, but whatever. It bottlenecks to a small amount of people. I'm calling them people, but whatever. Hominids that survived and became the ancestors of the modern human. We share, we have very little genetic diversity compared to other animals. Most other animals, they have multiple gene stocks, I guess, or whatever that they derive from. There's tons of diversity. But human beings, for some reason, it all bottlenecks down to this tiny group of people who survived, maybe when everybody else is getting killed, right? There's a dude on the Joe Rogan podcast that talked about there were solar flares causing lightning storms that could have created fire everywhere and just burned everything. That's totally, why not? Yeah. Maybe aliens came and blasted everything. There's less evidence for that, but maybe there's that, whatever. Aliens, fucking, maybe it was us, man. Maybe we had nuclear bombs back then and fucking nuked ourselves, man, and we're just repeating the cycle, man. That's what we do, right? That's what we do. Totally possible. At this point, anything is possible. A magic elf could have came and just went skiddly-doo, and then everything disappeared, and everything became now, or maybe now is actually back then. Maybe that's what it really is. Now is not now at all. It is actually 30,000 years ago, right now, before the invention of agriculture. This is what it was like, right now, right? And then we fuck all this up. Some dude came along, some demagogue came along, pushed the button. Everybody else pushed their buttons. It's all over, and then, took some time. Now we're back. Perhaps. That's was like that whole Hitchhiker's Guide thing of the crash landed spaceship, right? Crash lands on Earth, populate the planet, and it's a bunch of like middle management. It's not like a bunch of leaders. It's actually a lot of marketing executives and middle managers, and they repopulate the Earth, create another spaceship, and so on and so forth. I think that's totally possible. It's totally possible. See, and this is, isn't this better than me talking about depression? Yeah, I was rambling about God knows what. That's sometimes I have to listen to these because I'm like, what did I talk about? But anyway, I'll give you an update on a couple things. I've been microdosing. It's been over 10 weeks. I'm supposed to do 10 weeks according to James Fadiman. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just, I took a little break. Decided to go on another 10 weeks. I'm going for it. So I'm like in the middle of it. I should be done next month. And then I'm probably done for a while, cause then I think I'd like to just see how it all settles down. It's been interesting. I've been microdosing ALD 52, totally illegal. Not for human consumption. And it's lysergamide. It's LSD. It's acid. It's fucking acid. And how do I feel? Well, for one, usually I'm pretty depressed in June. It's my birthday in June. It's my dad's birthday. It's just a lot of sad things happened on this month in this time that I worked, like I was saying, the 0 through 20 shit. A lot of shit happened. 0 through 20 fucked me up. 20 through 40. Sure. I'm still fucked up about it, but I'm probably the best I've ever been about it, which is great. Amazing. I don't attribute that to microdosing, by the way. That's just, I'm bringing this up in tandem because I've made an observation about how microdosing has affected me during a time of cyclical depression. There you go. Because, yeah, this is like clockwork. I like clockwork every June. I guess that, it's just something that happens. A lot of shit. I'm an emotional guy. Things happen. I get sad. Whatever. It reminds me. Dude, one time, my real mom was supposed to call me on my birthday once. She never did. See, that's just a snippet of one of the things I think about on my birthday. And it's so, it's like my cross to bear. My cross to bear. But I'm also now, as a 40-year-old, I'm not even 40. Days away from being 40, but I'm 40. I've been calling myself 40 for like 2 years. So it's okay. It's here. And the thing about 40 is that it's not that different. It's not that different from 30. I mean, it's not that. It is, at least if I chose to. Here's what it is. I feel like 40 is the steak eating moment in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Where Joe Pantoliano's character, I can't remember, but the guy, he's eating the steak with the Asian. He's like, I know this steak ain't real, but give me the steak. Give it a steak. Right? Like, I should have took the blue pill. Why didn't I take the blue pill? That guy, right? Like that. And 40, I believe, is that place where, because I feel like, okay, 0 to 20, that's like your childhood, and that's, xxxtentacion died, right? The guy died. He's a kid. The kid died. Man. I mean, was he a bad kid? He did some bad things. Did he do some bad things? He did some bad things. But is he also a kid? Right? I was 20 years old, man. I did some bad things. I mean, not that bad, but I did. It's not a competition, right? So, but you get it. 20, I was fucking stupid. I was stupid. I was a dumb kid still, I would say, at 20, definitely. Nowhere near 20 years old. I was depressed as fuck. That's when I was really depressed. That was like major depression. The years 19 and 20, majorly depressed. Didn't go to class. Almost flunked out of school. Around 20 was when I contemplated suicide. Oh, am I going to do this now? I said I wasn't going to do it, but now. But it was dark. It was like one of the darkest times of my life. And really, I had some people, but I was ill-equipped personally to even reach out to those people. You know what I mean? Like, but I knew that I should see somebody, so I did see a therapist for a bit. Wasn't great, but it was okay. It was something. And that was around the time when I turned 20, when I started realizing, oh shit, there's a lot of shit going on that I have no idea about. That's sort of the beginnings of that thing. So the kid dying, xxxtentacion, him dying, there's a tragic thing to it. I can understand why the kids now are upset. I live here in beautiful Hollywood, California, and right down the street there was a near riot. Hundreds of these kids. What are they now? They're not millennials, because millennials are actually adults now. Like, what are they? Zs? Generation Zs, or whatever the fuck they want to call them. Like, these kids, they're fucking rioting. They're like, they're not really rioting. They're just a bunch of them. They assemble. The police came with riot gear and told them to go east, because in LA, you got to push the unlawful assemblies east. That's what you got to understand. It's a little geography. But in LA, you push them east. That's what the cops do. So they set up a perimeter right around Fairfax or La Cienega, and then push them east. That's what happened in the riots. That's why Koreatown burned to the ground. That's why there were rooftop Koreans. Like, all that happened. That's go east, young man, they'll say. Fire, tear gas. All over this rapper dying. Musician, touched a lot of hearts, souls. A lot of people, it spoke to a lot of kids, because the kids were like, dude, I'm fucked up or whatever, but do I deserve to die? Should I be condemned forever? It's a crazy thing. Life in general. It's like, what is it? I'm trying to wrestle with this idea of 200,000 years of human culture, 2.5 million years of hominid evolution. Like this, those ideas, very hard to grasp when I'm just now starting to grasp that, like, oh, I lived the first 20 years of my life were like this, like that sort of reflection. It took a lot of work. And I am not even saying that I am anywhere close to, I'm not like a self-actualized being. I don't have any answers. I'm just talking about, like, I am observant, right? Like, I am now able to observe stuff. So back to the microdosing. Did the microdosing help with all that? It might have. I mean, I've also been meditating. So I feel like it's very similar. Microdosing has been very similar to when I first started meditating, and I started seeing the just patterns, or I just start to notice the things that I would do, like repeat myself. Sometimes I get like mad for no reason at a certain time. Like if I was hungry, I get fucking pissy, and that was something that would happen. And I'd start to notice. You start noticing that. No, I don't do that. Or like before things escalate into an argument, the ability to just be like, I don't really care about this. You just see it happening. You're like, why do I don't care about this. And so you can just be like, all right, it's cool. I can just let it go. It's fine. Because what does it matter in the long run, right? Who cares who's right? You don't have to write that comment on fucking Facebook or whatever. Like, who gives a fuck? It's a trap. It's a trap. It's all designed to lure you into interacting with it, and by it I mean the social technology, right? It's all, you have to interact. That's the whole thing. And they're studying. It's like Westworld or whatever. It's like, oh, that'll explain to the 8 people listening. Yeah, it's like Westworld. Like it's like everything is recording everything, not necessarily for a nefarious purpose. Not like because they're like, sinisterly going to go through all your stuff and find stuff. I mean, they could if they wanted to, but that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it just because they can. And by they, I mean, like the NSA and the wherever you are, your government is most likely collecting all the data they can on you. Not for any reasons of suspicion or anything, but just like I said, it's just hoovering of everybody's. You're not special. Let's put it that way. Maybe that's the thing. Yeah, they're taking your shit, but you're not special. So they're taking everybody's shit. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, For a while, it was kind of freaky. I was a little freaked out by it. I was like, I have this data. They have all this data on me. So you know all my porn habits, or I don't know what's the worst thing they get. I'm a pretty vanilla guy, so I have some searches, I guess. I did some writing work for serial killers and whatnot, so there's probably some crazy searches in there. But besides that, I don't see what I put, and maybe I will see one day. I'll be like, haha. That's why I don't hit like on Instagram pictures of babies and stuff, because I don't want them to build a case against me. If I start speaking out against the government, they would just say I'm a pedophile and be like, see, look at all these likes. He likes babies. He fucking likes babies. And you know what we do with guys who like babies? Put them in jail. Put them in jail where they'll rape me. All right, it's not funny, but it is, because guys getting raped is okay. I will cross that line. Okay? Will I die on that hill? No, but I'll get raped on it. Okay? So we're going to just plow on for it. Guys, are you with me? It's been a while. All right. So microdosing, how has it been? Okay. I recommend it. If you're doing it, it's cool. I also think, it's cool to taper off and see how things go. I've been reading online. Some people do need it. I think some people use it to really manage anxiety and depression, like bad anxiety and depression. But I also wonder, like, what the sort of chemical merry-go-round is. Do you... I guess there's some measure of dependence that could happen. And also there's the placebo effect, just the idea of taking something every once in a while makes you feel like, oh, okay, I'm taking this thing because I have this other thing. But it's totally possible that you could transition to a state where you may not need it. I don't know. I'm not saying stop microdosing or stop taking your meds or whatever. No, don't do that. I'm just saying that there's got to be more than one way of restoring homeostasis or whatever. Like is everybody the same? Does every single human being have the same type of physiology where you'd be like, oh, you need X grams of this chemical to have Y result? Is it that linear? I just don't believe it is. I think it's more complex. It's complex, man. The complexity beyond good and evil. You know what I mean? That's why it's easier to be like, it's bad. Bad if you get sick, good if you're healthy. How do I get good? Stay good with these pills. Okay, that's good. That's the story, right? A lot of shit. Oh, God, I've been going on for a while, and I haven't really... Do I need to touch on all these? You know what's going on, guys. Read it. It's there. Read the fucking thing. It's the on your phone, on your computer, whatever. You're looking at it. You might be looking at it now, zoning out. Probably already bored of me. Fucking looking at what's going on. What did Trump do now? Like, what did Trump do? There's the border. The kids. There's the kids. The kids. And then there's fucking black people, fucking white people calling cops on black people. Just existing. There's that. That's just going on also. Yeah. So then, and then people are being mean to each other in restaurants. They're shaming each other. The Republicans surprisingly eat a lot of Mexican food for people who have taken an anti-Mexican stance, but like I don't know if they're just, is it just the blindness or is it just, well, I guess a lot of them aren't. Yeah, it doesn't, maybe it's just like a game. It's a game to a lot of people, right? It's just a job. It's just my job, It's just like, yeah, we're against we're calling Mexicans rapists and separating kids. Kids, ripping kids away from the family, putting them in cages. That's, why would that ever go over well? Ever. But there was somebody, they were like, it's gonna go over well. I mean, I guess I feel like there's some gambling going on by our current administration that a great deal of the voting population racist or sadistic. You could be racist and still be like, but the kids, I mean, I feel like, right? I feel like the kids, come on, that's like a primal, that's like kids are designed to be cute so we don't kill them, we don't harm them, we don't want to take care of. That's a natural instinct. We're supposed to want to take care of them, not hurt them, not rip them away, and when they cry, go ha ha or womp womp or whatever, just be like fuck them, fuck them until they're dead. I'm like, that's not right. That's wrong. That's bad. That's evil. Is that evil? I mean, I was just saying, is there good and evil in this world? I mean, I guess in their heads, they're not. The people who support this in their heads are not being like, I'm an evil person. Haha. They're arguing for the rule of law, or the morality, or the whatever. The borders need protecting. It's a logical sound argument. And look, let's just I can look. We can't just be like, yeah, let everybody in and no borders, open borders for all. I mean, can we? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like people have real strong opinions about this. Yes, we need open borders everywhere, or like, no, borders need to be protected, blah blah blah. And I don't know. I think that borders exist for a reason. I don't think they're just arbitrary. I mean, some of them are arbitrary, but that's just because of these other places with borders made them. And a lot of these borders are just created by people fighting for thousands of years and being like, all right, we're done. Just being like, that's what people say Europe is, right? Just a bunch of people fought each other until they got tired and drew a line. Said, okay, this is Denmark. Like this, that's the nature. Maybe perhaps that's something about humanity. That's how primitive we are. So I think advocating an open, borderless society is perhaps a noble pursuit. Perhaps something we can aspire to, but unlikely to happen given the current state of human consciousness. That's what I think. I think that what we really need to get to first is either we somehow attain the next level of consciousness where we care about each other and living things as we would ourselves, and understand that we are part of a network, an interconnected web of whatever you want to call it, energy, whatever, God, anything, whatever, that we are connected just by virtue of existence, just by virtue of having an atomic mass, just by being, just by thinking, just by being conscious beings. We're connected. Even, and by extension, unconscious, inanimate things are also connected to us, because they wouldn't even exist without our brains, right? Like these things, these objects we see, they're constructs of our mind. They only exist because we exist in our head, and they only exist in our heads, right? There's everything we perceive as reality is really through the filter of our brain. So that's the only way we know how to see things. Like, we don't understand truly how to measure anything outside the scope of our own instruments, right? Maybe one day, if we have some kind of super intelligent artificial intelligence, it could design something that could do that. Look at the brain itself, look at humanity itself, and they may come to some conclusions that, like, you guys are fucking everything up. You guys are fucking up the whole thing. We gotta get rid of you guys. You guys just draw lines everywhere. We gotta. Well, I don't know. I don't think it would be a Terminator. Maybe they'll start putting us in cages. I don't know. We have a robot Trump. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I think that we are trapped by our hominid evolution in a lot of ways, right? And the thing that's coming that'll break us out of that. I mean, there's this whole idea of Christ consciousness, right? For the Jews out there, I don't know if that would be Moses consciousness. Well, just no, it would still be Christ in the sense of the Messiah. The Jews still believe in a Messiah. There's a Messiah supposed to come. They just don't think that it's Christ, and the Christians do. And then the Muslims are like, yeah, sure, but beyond that, there's the other dude who came after, and that's more important. And then everybody's fighting. Everybody was kung fu fighting. All right, guys. I guess that reminds me. North Korea North Korea. I asked the older people what they think, and some of them are like, it's good. Others are like, it's commie propaganda. The whole thing is a commie plot to destroy us all. So it's one or the other. It's either good or it's a commie plot to nuke us all. We're all going to die from communist nuclear hellfire. So it's one or the other, guys. It's pretty good. It's progress. That's progress. That's what I say. Good stuff. I feel like, this is a good time. Turning 40, guys. Turning 40, and I don't know. I feel all right. I feel fine. I feel optimistic about life, future. Could it all die? Could we all be vaporized in an instant? Yes, but that was like that my whole life. I mean, that's as long as I've been alive for 40 years. There's been the threat of nuclear annihilation. So hey. Hakuna Matata, that's what I say, right? It means no worries for the rest of your days. All right. So thank you very much for listening to the Rogin Kimcast. Follow me on Twitter, please, at Rogin Kim. Find me on Instagram, at Rogin Kim. Find me on Facebook. RoginKim.com. All the Rogin Kims. I got no dates. I got nothing. What am I doing? I'm just writing. I'm writing a lot. That's not exciting. I'm gonna be doing more comedy. Whatever, I'm gonna be doing it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, right. Okay. You know what? I love you guys. How about that? I'm 40 years old. I'm telling complete strangers I love them. I love you. I don't care who hears it. I love you guys. Thank you.